It didn't take a genius to realize that Nintendo coming out with the Switch, which was both a home console and a portable console, maybe would have meant the end of the 3DS, and even a dedicated portable gaming console in general. And man, that sure has turned out to be true, hasn't it? 3DS has been sunsetted pretty hard over the past year and some change. Not making new games for it. It's definitely obvious that it's not going to be continued. And a lot of the things that we think of as being handheld franchises are showing up on the Switch. So Fire Emblem, Pokemon, even things like Rune Factory, I think might come to the Switch fairly soon. So there's a lot of smoke over there in the, hey, there's going to be no more handheld consoles that aren't just Switch Lites camp, and I think there's a lot of fire to that. But this video is about the 3DS and my experiences with it, and how much I enjoyed it. It was a pretty important console to me for a couple reasons. It came out in 2011. I got the XL, so that was 2012. I don't know when I got the XL, but it was definitely in that time frame of Nintendo making a lot of boneheaded decisions from a marketing and hardware development standpoint. And it's very much of its time, because it's a 3D system, right? Like 3D was 3D TVs and 3D movies, and this 3D system were all the rage around that time after how big Avatar was, which, hey, isn't it hilarious that there hasn't been a new Avatar movie since it came out? And it's crazy. It's kind of come and gone. But anyway, I wasn't so big on the 3D aspect of the 3DS. I really enjoyed how much more technically advanced the system was. I was kind of amazed at the graphics it could put out and what it could do on a handheld system. 3D, I barely used it. I mostly kept it turned off. It just was a gimmick to me. I was just happy to have a new Nintendo handheld console. But it was important to me for another reason. I never had a Wii U. Like, there was never a reason to have a Wii U, and I didn't exactly have the money at the time to just buy a Wii U for no reason. So it is the first Nintendo home console I skipped. To me, the 3DS had everything I would have wanted. It had a bunch of video games that were fun, and it had the game that you wanted to get a Wii U for. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. This system was one that featured that was a great place to save a franchise or resurrect a franchise. I guess I'll just talk about the games I have for it, and I think there's one missing here and some DS games, and just you'll see what kind of video game player I am. There's 3 different main Pokemon games for this system, and of course I had all 3. I had Pokemon X, I had Pokemon Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Moon. I also had 3 different Fire Emblem games. This was the one that saved Fire Emblem. This game specifically, I love the art on that little cartridge. Fire Emblem Awakening. Salespeople told him basically, hey, this is going to be it unless you do well enough, and they put a lot of effort in to make sure they did well enough. It was a fun game. They had the time travel and the romance aspects and the kids coming out of the romance aspects. And that was really cool and maybe led to some of the weirdness in modern Fire Emblem fandom with the shipping and the fan service and all the weird stuff, but this game at least saved the series. I also had Fire Emblem Fates. Speaking of fan service, I chose Conquest, and then Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valencia. 3 Fire Emblem games, same system. Now, I didn't just have those two series. I had and loved A Link Between Worlds, Legend of Zelda. That actually I think is one of my favorite Zelda games. Like, it was really good. It was really good. especially playing on your expectations of Link to the Past and what you remember about it. And it's amazing that the Legend of Zelda series has had two incredibly good games in like, I don't know, 5 year span, decades into its existence. Speaking of Zelda, I also have Majora's Mask for the 3DS. I definitely need to play that one all the way through. I'm not sure I ever have, but that could be fun. I also had Pilot Wings Resort. I loved the original Pilot Wings for Super NES. I don't think that's what people think of when they think of Pilot Wings. I mean, this art style and the art style for the one for N64 doesn't look anything like the original Super NES one, but I would play that one at my friend's house all the time. That game was fun in like a Sim City kind of way where you could like try to do good or you could entertain yourself by doing as horrible as possible and just letting skydivers fall through lakes and whatever and seeing the little hilarious hilarious outline of their body coming through the cement. Anyway, Pilot Wings Resort was a fun diversion from longer, more serious games. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was God, it was like 10 years at least after the original game and was a whole lot of fun. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, a little less fun. I wasn't so good at it. I didn't really get it. I kind of sucked. I couldn't hit anything. I had to end up getting a really heavy weapon just because it would do damage when I finally hit my opponents. So, and then I also had Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers was a game you would have wanted for the Wii U, but they made the same game basically available for the Wii U and the 3DS. So why would I get a Wii U? I could pay the $40 for Smash Brothers on a system I already have instead of buying an entire brand new system that turned out was going to be replaced fairly soon. There were some problems with my Smash Brothers experience. I don't know what that cat was doing. The screen made it a little bit hard to see what the heck was going on, especially on some larger maps. I definitely missed the TV when it came to that. Some of the controls on that were difficult and couldn't exactly be replaced by a different controller. The C-pad was not the greatest way to direct anything there at all. I really would have liked directional buttons on that. Sometimes it was hard to jump and move around. I did really like the return of the Home Run Derby. I really, really liked Home Run Derby and Smash Brothers Melee, and appreciated its return here. Hello, cat. Are you hunting a moth or something? She's pretty shy. I don't know why she's been around while I'm making videos so much lately, but I will be sad to see the 3DS go. It was a really good system, and I really hope in the future there's still a place for a Nintendo system that features games that are cheaper, that is not as expensive. But we'll see. The Switch has done so well, they might just stick with that idea, but you never know what will happen in the next console generation for Nintendo, so maybe there'll be a 4DS.